Hello, hello, hello. We are back. Yay. It's your girl.
Hello.
And we got Angela with Word on the Curve. We are back with another review for Married to Medicine, Season
Yes.
12, Reunion Part 2. Okay.
Yes.
So, what did you think about this week's episode, the conclusion of Season 12 for Married to Medicine? And what would you give this episode rating and then the season? Is it about the same or what?
Well, I would say this episode was everything for me. I thought it was
Okay.
really good the way they did it. Um, I did get my answer today why Steve was on one
Okay.
because the interview I
I
was
think
on
sure was.
the Patreon interview that Toya and Eugene did. He
Mm-hmm.
watched it the day before the reunion.
Oh, okay, okay. Now, what is it that they said in this reunion? Well, tell me what you're gonna rate the episode. I'm rating
I
the
was
episode about a 7.
I would gave about a 9. The men
Yeah,
clocked in. I thought they clocked
the
in,
men did clock in. The
and
men did clock in.
I love the medical moment.
Mm-hmm.
The, I, that's one of the reasons why I like the show because we do get a little education in here. It's not all just messiness.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Also, the fact that I was side eyeing Jackie and and Simone. I'm like, is this a scheme set up by
So
Todd?
that's okay. So that's how we open up in and back with this part 2. Is the conclusion of we are never ever ever getting back together, right? Turns
Wait a minute.
out
I left my
Jackie
note.
is over there pleading and begging, baby, please, please, baby, please, baby, please. What you don't like Spike Lee, but that's from Do the Right Thing, right?
Yes. I watch Do the Right Thing all the time.
I just listen. I'm just saying, like, cause you
School
went there
days
with
went for
school
me.
days. I'm like, she don't like Spike Lee.
No, I ain't like. No, I like Crooklet.
She
I
don't
like.
like Spike Lee like that. Like,
I was like, you gotta have it. Yes, honey. But I didn't like School Days. No, I didn't.
but yeah, so yeah, she was over there doing her please, baby, please, baby, please. Um, and it seems so they kissed and made up at the end, all right.
Yeah.
Jackie went back over to her couch. And listen, I really couldn't get past how the whole rest of the episode, Jackie was just squeezed in that little spot. Like that wasn't even her spot. It was like they done took up the whole couch, honey. I don't know if that was like a sign that maybe there's no more room left for you here. But
Girl.
I do think that not that, and here's the deal with Jackie. I don't want to see Jackie come out of any particular character that she presents. I'm okay with Jackie. I know this clip is floating around the internet from Quiet and Heavenly's interview with Carlos, and
Yeah.
Heavenly is expressing how she felt during that scene, to see them basically turn around and make back up in the same damn, breath. Um, and how she felt like a little betrayed, which I'm sure she did, which that's the problem I was bringing up with Jackie, is that Jackie just has this way of really not making a definitive type of stance about what it is that's going on, especially where Simone and Heavenly are concerned. But the same thing happened with the Met Gala as we got deeper into it, because I feel like what Toya had to say was was shaking my head like, why don't nobody have any other questions for Jackie? Like to just stand 10 toes on what it is, instead of kind of seeming like you are just like a puppet master or something. Like you kind of are orchestrating things behind the scene, and then you kind of playing coy. Because like when she said, no, you did not push heavily. Well, you could have said that on Watch What Happens. And I feel like it would have been all in over with. None of this stuff ever even have happened if you just would have said that then, because nothing changed from then until now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, um, it seems like it's something deeper going on than just that. No, I mean, I don't know the whole thing, but I feel like Dr. Simone, okay, she needed Jackie to say that Heavenly didn't push her in public. Because she didn't, I guess she said it in private, but she didn't say it in public for her to hear it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she was riding the fence on the rest of it. I I don't know. I feel like they just making a show. I might lie. I feel like some of them bitches all left. They all fucking friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if we all got along this good on the show, why did Dr. Simone, and they been taped this, why did this Dr. Simone, was that the week before last, Never Ever Ever Taylor Swift
Yeah,
song?
yeah, that was last week. Uh-huh. She did that
Why?
right after the reunion ended. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, but y'all already, so you're playing towards the end
Right,
of the episode.
exactly. Yeah, for sure. Because you knew that was coming next because it already happened. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know, girl. I ain't about to
Right.
play
Y'all
my
playing
brain.
with our emotions, basically.
Yes.
That goes back to my point about the Met Gala debacle where Toya is concerned. That was the reason why the last 3 or 4, reviews we did talking about the Met Gala, I'm like, no, that has to go back to Jackie because Jackie is the one that went and asked her. It didn't make sense that you would go and ask somebody who had not been uh, participating. Like, and so, yeah, you felt like you wanted to teach her a lesson. Well, okay, now that makes sense. But the fact that it got to come out of Heavenly's mouth when you the one that's orchestrating it all, like that's the reason why Toya going at it with Heavenly because it's coming out of Heavenly mouth. But yet, if she's speaking for you, why is it that you wouldn't tell Toya that yourself? That was my point when you went and asked her to do this. Why wouldn't you say like, well, the girls, even if it wasn't your idea, well, the ladies gonna feel some type of way, you know what I mean? Like, boom, boom, boom. So I do think they let Jackie off very easily. And I think, and again, it's not that I want to see them treat her any poorly or anything like that. I just want to see them hold her accountable for what she ran around doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. And yes, and I do for Simone, I'll say this. I am team Simone in this instance, even though they seem to have made up. Because I do think that I thought about this when it came to so just so I'll include this, Indie Bosses is a reality show that's filming in Indianapolis.
Okay.
I've
Uh-huh.
kind of gone around and did some events with them, and I'm
Okay.
looking forward to adding them, to the roster. Once we able to see wherever their episodes land, if we
Mm-hmm.
able to watch them, I would love to, be
I
able to
thought I followed
incorporate
something
that.
about them on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
Yeah, but I don't see it no more. So I better go back
Well,
and
like I say, it's not like they are filming, and
mhm.
all of this is a process, right?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
reality shows film, they film different episodes, and then they have to shop. So I think currently, right now, they're just doing their filming. They just came from LA. I know they just told me that they are going to have a reunion.
Okay.
Yandy is executive producer. So, because that's what I told her. I said, y'all should have me host the reunion, girl. Like, um, but anyhow, the reason why I was even bringing them up, I think, was to say, when you start off, much like Married to Medicine, of course, there's this deal in which everybody you have to find the people, and so a lot of times you are going to find people that have these personal connections.
Yeah.
So going to Simone and Jackie, I feel like Simone easily forgives because the relationship is bigger than this this thing we got ourselves in, which is the public having a opinion about our friendship, letting other people kind of get in your head, XYZ. So I think she tries to separate, like, not reacting from a public standpoint, but still wanting to hold Jackie accountable to the fact of your friendship to me. Because even if you're friends with somebody who I don't get along with and we have an issue, it would be important that at that moment you're able to at least say what you saw, because it's not about the sides at that point. It's like, are you able to tell the truth?
Mm-hmm.
And so so I'm thinking, yeah, like I said with Jackie, like, you could have been said that. I don't know, like, it didn't feel like it should have been all right at that moment in time. Like I said, because how is it that you can say it today now that I'm ready to, be done with your ass? But as long as you didn't think I was going to be done with your ass, you just felt like you would, just mosey on along, like, this don't involve me, And I think that's just, I don't know. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong. And so anyway, the point is, when you start off in a reality show with these personal relationships, it's kind of like you should have some sort of pact, some sort of something that you can lean on to that separates what's going on camera and whatever is being amped up for entertainment purposes. With your relationship, so that somehow you're able to sustain your relationship beyond this reality television show. Because I do think I think it's the saddest thing to watch a friendship break up over a show.
Sure.
Yeah.
I definitely think so too.
Well, they pulled our chain.
I knew it had to be something the way it was. I'm like,
they got us good, honey, didn't they?
I knew that. I was like, how they gonna come together at the end? Because usually they try to make everything solved and move forward.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, girl, I left my notes downstairs. Oh, let me run down there and get them. I'll be right back.
Well, listen, while Miss Angela go run and grab her notes, we'll talk about the Married to Medicine Housewives Awards, okay? We are still taking votes for the Housewives Awards. I believe that we will do a live. We're gonna it might be next Tuesday where we announce the winners from the poll. So if you are interested in voting, you will subscribe to my page and then go to the community tab, and all of the categories are listed in the community tab in polls for you to make your selection and be added into what the results are going to be. Okay. So I think after this whole Simone and Jackie deal, do you want to just move right into the men's lab and talk about what these men was in here talking about, honey? What you say? They clocked in. They ain't even on the payroll, but they clocked in, huh?
They're clowning.
They ain't even on the payroll, honey. That Steve Red Baby came in hot.
He was heated. But we did, Simone was supposed to start following Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
So she probably didn't follow her till after this episode aired.
I felt like she did. It looked like she had picked up her phone toward the end to go and do it. So she might have did it.
I don't think so, because she put that never, ever, ever. I think she's waiting till she probably did it after,
Mm-hmm.
for real, after this episode aired.
Maybe
Unless
so,
you
yeah.
met her again, I don't know.
Right, maybe so.
So,
Never can tell.
because I'm like, okay, that Never Ever Ever song, was that for Jackie or was that for Dr. Heavenly? Yeah, I don't think Dr. Heavenly too much give a damn, so I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, the men, they're back there discussing. First of all, I think it was Cecil that said how fine Jackie was looking.
Mm-hmm.
And Curtis said, "Don't be talking about my wife." And then they made a statement about how Dr. Contessa always is calling somebody handsome.
Mm-hmm.
I go, yeah, because she does that hi handsome or hello handsome. So Eugene and Curtis. And Curtis
You know, I watched the episode twice.
Mhm.
Okay. And I really was trying to figure out where Curtis was going with this. So, like, because
Well, I guess it's from that Watch What Happens Live. You watched that, right? Which way on there?
Yeah, it feel like it's been a long time ago. Like, that's what, like, it's so weird that it, like, and I think that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to hear what it is he is trying to get to, because
when she said it on Watch What Happens, like the way I took it was that other women from the show had said something to her. That's the way I took it, about him putting his hands on them, not just meaning that just her and Dr. Heavenly. So that's why I think he's upset.
The statement, and even the statement that they replayed,
but it was more.
I didn't take it. What I took it is exactly what she said, which was because they showed a picture of Heavenly with his hand on her waist, and then you got the video of him pulling her. So I took it for face value, which is what she said was, well, I think he has his hands on a couple of women, which that wouldn't be, because even as he was that, because y'all know one thing about me, I'm funny about words. And so, like I said, even as he was saying to Eugene, he said, well, she said that several people have come to her and said this. Well, none of that was said. Now, it's okay for that to be whatever your perception was out of what was said, but I can't, like, feelings are not facts. So I can't argue with what your feeling is about what I said. You know what I mean? The fact is, that's not what I said. So I started to look up the different words, because, like, several, multiple, you know what I mean? Like, because even though we interchangeably use those words, they do mean different things, right? Yeah. They mean something different. So couple of women is exactly what they mean. Two or more, which that had been proven in the situation in which she even said it. So she did not imply, well, what I think she was implying is that if he could do it that particularly easily, then it may be more, right? That's what I think she was implying. Now, I never heard her say nobody came to her and said it.
She said, well, she's had several women on the show. And when you say
several, I feel like she said a couple of, but to your point, what he kept saying was several. So that's the reason why I said, well, let me look up several. And so, like, to see if there is a definitive amount, that several covers, right?
I guess when I'm talking about myself, I'm not going to say a couple of women, because it's me and just Heavenly. So it wouldn't be me and Heavenly as a couple of, what I'm talking about, it would be me and her, or me and Heavenly. Is it, well, yes, he done that to me and Heavenly, not a couple of women.
I think she said, she said, what? Well, now we should have had the clip so we could have heard exactly the question, though, because it was like the question he asked, she answered like, well, I think he's had his hands on a couple of women, a couple of wastes on our show or something. I don't even think she said the word women. I think she said a couple of wastes, you know. Now, the deal was, and like even going back to trying to figure out, so I guess I ended it with saying, with thinking that Curtis's gripe had to be in the vernacular, in the vocabulary that was being used.
Yeah.
Which sometimes that's a, I don't know how to take that with people sometimes, because it can sometimes can be, it's like law. You know what I'm saying? Like as a lawyer, that those are the times when you play on words. You know what I mean? Like you play on, play on sentences, play on presentation. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like, it feels like a dig when it seemed to me, Curtis, you would want to leave that situation alone, because even when they replay that whole thing of him pulling Toya on his lap, it continues to be inappropriate. It was inappropriate at the time that it even aired, right? Because like even in the setting, it was
why was she taking her ass over there?
Happen. Right.
Because I'm like, why was she going over there though?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Even in the setting, like I am so confused about how that even took place. And so it would seem to me that you would stay very far away from like really trying to pick apart the details of that, because I don't. Why did you pull that lady down on your lap? You pulled her down like that was your lady.
All I remember was she was saying to the fact something about, because he got caught cheating, and for him not to be basically what's the word I want to use, enticed or be tested, and she walked her ass over there. My only gripe, really, because I know my husband would have he would have knocked the shit out of Curtis. But for her to, when he did it, and then I felt like she just sat down there too long. I'm not lying. I just, because if somebody was grabbing me,
I do agree with you, but can I say this? And then I'm about to be pretty.
He went over there and tried to pull her up, and she resisted.
Okay, now I can't get into that because I don't know if she resisted.
I mean, you can see her pull her arms back. She pulled her arm back, because I watched it over and over. Watched that clip over and over, because I'm like, by the time I'm looking at Eugene kind of look.
Well, again,
it was
a very cringy scene because it didn't feel like even the setting, it wasn't playful enough for that to have been some inadvertently playful move. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like it was weird. It was weird. Now, what I was going to give some lead credit to, and this is just for women, because I think that even other women, like when we talking about different stuff, like, well, because this could almost be an assault, but men have the tendency of putting women in uncomfortable situations a lot of the times, and inadvertently, maybe I guess, like, because maybe even with them and the way that they move and whatever, maybe they don't think about the whole picture. So I'm just giving the credit to say sometimes you may not react in the way that people would have, like looking and you able to process something differently, just because you're not trying to escalate something to some other level in that moment. It doesn't make it any less uncomfortable, because sometimes you can be so uncomfortable that you just freeze.
She went froze. Girl, she sat down and smiled. No, because she took her ass over there to keep him. Well, it was like to because she had on her shorts. She went up because remember everybody was sitting down. She was sitting by Eugene. She got up, went over there in front of him, and it was kind of like there was a back and forth about him being able to resist other women, basically.
Well, it sounds like you trying to say that it was something for her, because even
it
in
was.
that,
She went put her ass right here in his face. And
but I am saying this, like, even I'm still putting it back on Curtis.
Yeah, no,
because
I'm not
even
saying
if
what
the
he did was right,
situation
but I think
is
both of them
talking
were
about
wrong.
you with other women, that move was still inappropriate.
Let me look
Now,
at it.
here's the deal with Toya. Toya is in the group. She around. She married to Eugene. She got a big ass. It would be so. And now, funny enough, I'll use myself. The difference between myself and Toya is that I'm not married. So I would agree that, let's say, if we on vacation, you bring your husband. Whenever we doing whatever, you and your husband might want to do y'all thing off to the side. You might not want to come mingle with your husband with myself being single.
I wouldn't care. I'm not that type
No,
of girl.
I'm not saying it's even a care type of situation, but I'm also saying, because what I'm going to say is this. What we already have admitted, nobody is blind. So if you have a attractive body, if you dress, like sexy or whatever, for you to think that somebody is not able to notice or to see that.
That's not what I'm saying, though. I'm saying the whole conversation they were having is what led to Toya walking over there in front of him. It wasn't like they were talking about something that was way out. They were talking about.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch.
I want to pull it up because I
don't remember Toya talking to him at all. I think that it was. I don't think I don't remember that.
The conversation was about him cheating and not being able to control himself. And then that's why he did it.
My deal is, it looked to me, outside of whatever the conversation was happening and whatever caused her to get up, all I'm saying, he was inappropriate for whatever reason, for pulling her down on his lap. And at that moment, it would seem to me that you, outside of anybody else, you would be the one that would avoid any other conversation about that encounter. Because, in my opinion, you were wrong. Now, to sit around and to try and then play semantics about what her verbiage is about whose hands you done put whose bodies you done put your hands on, because you touched that lady inappropriately, you should leave it alone. I really do think that I felt like Curtis was fighting a losing battle. And that's why I'm kind of like, I just really wanted to understand exactly what his gripe was, which, again, it had to be the verbiage.
Yeah,
because you did have you put your hands on her.
The episode.
But I don't think that's enough,
I'm pretty sure he didn't watch the episode. Dr. Jackie took it back to him. And she watched the episode because, remember, in the first episode of the season, she brought that to Toya's attention. So the whole conversation at Watch What Happens Live. So whereas, playing telephone, I'm pretty sure Curtis didn't go back and watch it his damn self. He going by whatever damn Jackie had said. So, but what I'm just saying is, far as the whole lap gate goes, I feel like at that moment, because that's why Dr. Eugene said he took it as a joke, because it was the conversation they were having. But I feel like at that moment he pulled her down. Dr. Eugene didn't say nothing. Toya sat there. Dr. Heavenly said, I don't like this shit, and went and grabbed her to pull her up, and she pulled her arm back and kept talking. So what I'm saying is, even though yes, he did that and that was wrong, but to me, she sat there a little bit too long.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I have to say on that.
I mean, I like.
That's
okay.
my point.
I mean, okay, that just, it does just sound like you pushed it off on her. And all I'm saying is she never would have been there. And I'm okay with you saying she sat there too long, but she never would have been there had that man not put his hands on her.
Or she not had her ass in his face. You need to go back and watch the episode so you can understand the whole thing they were talking about.
I'm still saying he had no business put you, like, you don't expect your husband, no matter what the conversation is, to put his hands on any other woman and pull her in his lap.
No, I do not.
That's it. That's it. And it doesn't even matter what the conversation is that's going on. You're just not going to expect that to happen.
No, but I definitely, if it happened to me, somebody pulled me down. I
agree.
I'm not going to sit there.
I agree.
When somebody comes over to,
but I also can give room for why nobody saw this big blow up in that moment. I can understand why that happened that way, but clearly the fact that it keeps coming up, and that goes back to what I'm saying about Curtis, and maybe being smart enough to know when to avoid certain things that is not a good look for you, brother, and so and that's one of them, because for me, I think Toya is saying she was uncomfortable. You saying that she not.
I think so.
All right, well, that's that on there. I thought Curtis was
doing seem that way because he kept talking.
I thought Curtis was
did, but I don't think.
I mean, no, but I think that you are, like, in that moment, like, you are explaining my point, because in order to not make something awkward, then we're gonna keep going. Like, I'm not gonna stop and bring attention to what just played. We're gonna try to ease our way out this awkward ass moment, because why do your husband have his hands around my waist? Right? Because we're gonna move on out this awkward ass moment. I can understand that totally. I really can. I really, really, really can, for sure.
But she blew up in other moments.
I can understand it. That's all I'm saying. I really can. Mm-hmm.
So that is the issue. Lapgate has entered into 2026. Mm-hmm. And how long ago this happened? 5-6 years ago?
I don't even know at this point. That's what I'm saying. It feels so long ago. I'm like, shit, I can't even remember what season this was that this happened.
I think it was Mariah last season, because I know Mariah and Aiden was there. This is the couples trip that Heavily hosted.
Stop.
Yeah, it's the couples trip that Heavily hosted.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but so the men, they're back there discussing that, and basically, he said he wasn't apologizing and all this other stuff. And he said that Eugene kind of condoned the lie that Toya perpetuated, and he was back there. Man,
Eugene was funny because he said, "Which lie?" Here I go. So does that mean y'all been lying?
I said, "Oh my God, these men just clocked in. They clocked in. I ain't lying. I think they were more messy than the women."
Well, that Steve definitely was.
Girl, he took it there.
That Steve definitely was.
He was doing a lot.
Baby, we can tell you and your wife do some pillow talking, honey. Y'all
honey, they watched that
under the bed, baby.
They watched that Carlos King when Toya said, but Carlos King said, mentioned something about Steve being nice looking. She said, yeah, that's what all the boys say.
Mm-hmm.
So that
was big as hell. That's what I can give him. I don't necessarily, but I don't think I'm partial to light-skinned men in general.
Mm.
He's not ugly, of course he's not ugly, looking. But I don't necessarily. He's not anybody I find attractive. Like I wouldn't. I'd be like, oh, okay. Right.
He's an average looking guy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and his face big as hell.
Yeah. I wonder how tall he is.
He's pretty tall. He looks like it.
So we got Curtis and Eugene discussing Lapgate. And then it's Heavenly versus Contessa. And
Well,
Heavenly,
Contessa had to bring up, I think how that happened was Contessa brought up. Are they talking about Met Gala now at this point?
no. We're still kind of talking. It's back and forth. There's talking about the thing with Dr. Heavenly and Simone, and because Andy had asked all the women, did they feel like Simone pushed Heavenly, and everybody said no. But so then Contessa says,
right. So Contessa brought up
her being a blaring.
because I was like, I couldn't remember what was being discussed at the time, but I like that she brought up a very good point about Heavenly using the buzzwords and going to grab security, which Heavenly like, well, no, that's just for you. But like Contessa was saying, you and I agree with her. You can't do all of this sparring and then you know what I'm saying, like that. Then you want to run and do go grab protection. You know what I mean? After you done went and went down to the lava in hell on people. You know what I'm saying, in their personal business. You know damn well somebody gonna want to slap the shit out of you. And sometimes you might just need to stand on business, so that was, listen, Contessa clocked in this season.
Yes, she did.
Contessa usually disappoints me. But I have to admit, this is one season that she has really made me proud.
She done reinvented herself.
Lo and behold, Lord, look at Contessa.
She said, I'm not going to be the one that be in the hot seat, but I'm going to clock in.
I'm tired. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired, boss.
She was clocking in because even though Brandy was trying to give it to her, she went falling for it.
So, good job, Contessa. And what is her category? I know she has a category in the Housewife Awards. I think she is for main character energy. Yeah, because that's the one for the Friends of, or like the tryout type of housewives. So I put her in that category because she's been stepping up, even though she has been. And I'm not really sure if she was considered. I think she was considered main because she was out in front. In the front, it was Angel.
And plus, she's on the intro. They call her name. They don't call.
Yeah, but so even though she was main cast, I just thought, she really has stepped up this season, honey, and. Okay.
Because you ain't know who she was going. At the thing, I'm like, she arguing with people, not arguing, but sparring with people on both couches. She said, I'm gonna spar with you.
But also, she was bringing up good points.
Yes, very good points.
I deal with Contessa is like, I always make fun of the way she get her way into a scene, honey, and I say she gonna do whatever she got to, even if it don't make sense. But that's not what we saw.
Yeah, she did very well.
Herself in places, and you made valid points, and so the insertion was inserted.
Yeah, she was bringing up the stuff we wanted to know.
Exactly,
and that was very interesting. Stuff.
Yeah.
So then that's when Dr. Heavenly said, let's bring it back to the beginning. And she was trying to say, couldn't even remember what Andy's name was. What did she call him, Earl? Or what's your name?
She said, what's your name? She didn't call him nothing. But then he's so funny. I like this look, because I'd have looked at her the same damn way too. Like, B, the person who signed your paychecks. Like, B, you don't know who I am? He was like, what's the person say? You know who else is. He say I'm trash. But pause real quick. Let me ask y'all a question because I think this came up on the last episode, but I forgot to incorporate it in the live. But because it was something I had never heard, and I guess is it because I'm a Black woman? But who is out here telling their kids if they get in trouble to go find a Black woman? Is that the advice y'all give your kids?
That was on when?
That's what Andy said. Andy said that last week. He said that he had heard that parents teach their kids that if they're in trouble to find a Black woman.
Really?
Because
I seen that on the internet, but
help them.
I seen that on the internet, but I didn't know how true that could have been.
Well, that's why I just wanted to present it for the comments because I wanted people in the comments to let me know because I had never heard that either.
Yes, white people only.
Now, instinctually, I get it, because I feel like I'm that type. Like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I think I've found myself in positions, especially where children are concerned. Yeah, that I'm kind of like, I go into mama mode. Like, I could be in the park. Like,
is that because most of the older Black women were mammies to a lot of them people?
I don't know, because I wasn't nobody mammy, but
I said older, and so that they feel like that Black.
I don't know, but I do know for me, I know that I can have. I do have an instinct about it, and like even I think about, even though I think about the vacation we was on in Florida. I think Funky Dineva did a video last week about, because all the Airbnbs in Florida have cages around the outdoors, the pool, whatever. Anyway, we was all hanging out at the pool, and my niece had her baby, put her baby in the pool. Now the baby was about I can't even remember, maybe 3, something like. He wasn't swimming, is what I'm about to say. So she had him in his little donut, but she's standing up on the platform. Now he in the water, in his donut. And like I said, I was like, girl, if you don't get your ass in that water.
Yes,
that's like that. Like, if you don't get your ass in that water with that baby. And so she got in, but like I had to tell her, like, no, like, you don't play like that. Like, shit, babies and waters, I don't play with that shit.
That's right.
You be right with them, and I've had strangers. If I see, like, I don't know, if I just see a baby looking like they lost or something, I found myself keeping an eye on them to make sure they with their mama or whatever. Or whatever. I don't. Maybe I think in my opinion, what I would say for me is that I think I just do what I would want somebody to do. Well, my children are grown now, but yeah, even if they were kids, like. Like, maybe your kids want. I don't know. Yeah, keep your eyes out. I'm just a protector. I think it's a natural thing for me.
I think too that we kind of are observant of a lot of things.
Yeah,
and things that we feel or we look at that don't look right.
And
then we kind of, because my friend, she had to do that. She seen a man. Caucasian man, and he had this little Black girl with him, and she went over there to the little girls, like, and my friend, she's mixed, she goes, are you okay? She said, because it just looked so odd, like, why is she with him, not really trying to get it. It just seemed like the little girl didn't really know him, and she wanted to know, hey, are you okay? Do you need me to call somebody or something?
Right,
like that? Yeah. So I think so. Yeah, we are nurturers. What they say, we are the mothers.
Mother Earth. Okay.
Yes,
yeah, I thought that was strange that he would say that, because I'm thinking, who told you that? Is that a thing? I don't know if it's a thing.
I seen a reel or something. They had all these white people commenting on it, and I'm that's the thing. I didn't know that happened. Well, I'm not having those conversations with white people because I ain't white, so I don't know.
Right, yeah, exactly. I think maybe you're right. Maybe that's why I'm like, I'm out the loop. Like, is that what y'all telling me?
We get to talk about the talk we get is how to act when the police pull you over. That's the talk we had to give out, and so that's the talk. So we ain't had that one.
Okay, no, for sure.
Yes. So, but then they have their medical moment, and they talk about the Jamaican trip with the children, and then they asked about, excuse me, Andy asked about any health trends that kind of get on their nerves, and Dr. Jackie said they're competing with TikTok.
No, I agree. Of course they are. Everybody is competing with TikTok because people get on TikTok and they become experts in whatever it is they're talking about. And one thing, so another bit of my personal business, what y'all just should know about me, my everyday job is medical billing. I've been working in a medical office or with medical personnel, doctors for the last 20, 25 years or so. And so like social media is something that is big now. And of course, you got all of these things on TikTok about different remedies, how to heal this or help with that. And I can see, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back it up, because the reason why I put my medical training in there is that there's nothing new under the sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even working in a medical office with medical doctors, one of the things as a medical biller, one of the things that's most common that you come across, that you argue with patients about, especially where their billing is concerned, because even though this is we're not talking about billing, but it would be about what they thought took place during their visit. Because anybody complaining about their bill, they complaining about it being too high or
feeling do nothing.
Exactly. And so I always find it very comical for a patient to feel like, to feel like they have the diagnosis or whatever the procedures were supposed to happen. But yet you at the doctor's office. It's kind of like one thing. On one end, you have to trust where you just went to ask for care, right? Because if you could heal yourself, then you wouldn't take yourself to a doctor's office. You would stay at home and heal yourself. And then the flip side is, if you go to a doctor and you talk to that doctor, you have an office visit, and you feel like that doctor didn't order the test that you think you should have done. So if you complaining about chest pains, and you feel like you go tell your doctor this, and maybe he should go send you for a stress test or something, but he doesn't do that. But you feel like you should. The recourse that you have is to go find a doctor who is on the same page with the type of care and treatment you want. But everything costs money. So you ain't gonna be able to, complain about that without making like because you're gonna get a bill for everything that's taking place. So anyway, I believe what they're saying. I do think people do go in, and I do think, especially as OBGYNs, that they are having a very hard time just giving their expertise to their patients, because one thing about it being a patient is you are in charge of your care. So OBGYNs, I've never heard Jackie or Simone go into this, but this is something that I would say from my experience being a pregnant person, not a doctor, but being pregnant, I always tell people it's important to have some sort of birthing plan, but not just for yourself. Like, you have to talk to your doctor about what your birthing plan is too. And what I mean by a birthing plan is kind of like what do you want to have epidural? Do you want to have IV drugs? The way that you at least envision the
Mhm.
labor to go. And your doctor, you need to express that to them so that they can be on the same page. For
Yeah.
me, that's the only reason why I gave birth to 3 children and never had an epidural.
Mm.
Why? Because now, first of all, outside of that, my labors went well to where there was not, I didn't need an epidural, right? There was no emergency thing that took place that threw my birthing plan into another plan.
Mm.
But specifically because I had that plan, even though I gave birth to my first son, my doctor didn't deliver. It was the doctor on call. But
Mhm.
because I had my plan in place, he knew, right? Because I don't know this doctor on call. This is the first time he came. But he knew that I didn't want an epidural. So when he came in, he knew to do everything do everything except give me an epidural. Same thing with the episiotomy. I pushed for 2 damn hours, and that's when he finally had to say, like, man, look, I got to go on and cut you, and I'm like, okay, fine, right. 2 hours, no lie. But
Woo.
like, okay, fine. So I'm saying all of that to say there are things you can put in place that help. There are things you have no control over, and you pick somebody, as far as your physician, you pick somebody you trust to make the decisions about things you're not able to make the decisions about. So if you telling me my baby is in distress and I need to do something different than what my mind is set on, then I trust you with that, because we've already talked, right? You know what I'm saying? We already talked, and you understand how important my plan is to me. And if I'm sticking with you, then I trust you to see that through. And I trust that if it doesn't go through that way, right, that you're giving me the best options moving forward. So I just feel like having that type of back and forth with your patient is a trust issue. And I think that's the problem with patients and their doctors. They don't want to admit that they don't trust that they're doctors, and don't know how to go find doctors that they trust.
Or maybe who's ever accepting their insurance, maybe some of them are on Medicaid or something.
Well, that would go into, that
Trust
probably
issues.
would hinder, right, your options in a sense. But at
Mhm.
the same time, Dr. Hop, because I think, and again, I don't know why, I feel like they say it in a way, because, but I'm gonna say this, like, you get you a doctor that you trust, so that what they're telling you and advising you about, you're able to hear and
Well,
consider.
I think also too. I haven't went down the damn TikTok rabbit hole like that. I only go on there just to make videos, and I come off. I don't too much really. I guess I haven't gotten those kind of algorithms. I don't really look at that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but a lot of people, you probably got a lot of people out here without insurance, don't want to pay for the marketplace insurance, and they're trying to figure out whatever home remedies. Or you got all these people too that decide that they don't want to put this and that in their bodies. So they down here scrolling.
Well, like Simone said, because that's one aspect, but then you got another aspect of stuff that feels so frivolous,
Yes,
like what day and what
yes,
zodiac sign,
sign. Yes,
like that your baby is gonna have. Like, you don't get to control those things. And that's what I'm saying about having a birthing plan too. Because one thing about labor, you don't really get to control that either. Like,
mm-mm.
that kind of goes the way that it goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so that's why I'm saying you gotta have a doctor, whoever is up in there with you, that you got responsible for getting that baby out, safe. You need to be able to trust that person with that plan. to get this baby here safe. Because I'm going to do whatever it is you tell me to do. You know what I'm saying? I had to lay on the side, honey, and wait for the baby to turn around.
Oh, I had to do that. But
I
my
had
problem was when I got there.
my first baby was the easiest. Just like, and that sounds funny, because I know most people feel like they had the most trouble. Now, he was the longest labor, but when I mean the easiest birth. Because by the time I got to the hospital, girl, I was already 9 centimeters, and like I was just ready to push.
No,
But the other one time, yeah, I had to go through a little bit extra. That's the thing. I had to lay. They talking about lay on your side so he can turn around. Like lay on my
side. No, I had
so, but yeah, the TikTok trends are enough because everybody is an expert and nobody really wants to leave room for the professionals, and I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Exactly. Like those people just went and spent all that money for education.
Yeah.
And here we go. Andy talks about budget cuts in the DI, custody DI, and doctors of color and education. And they bring up about the Pell Grants. Dr. Simone says she wouldn't have been able to do it without Pell Grants and all the other grants. Dr. Contessa said her parents was a truck driver and and the mom worked at the post office. They didn't have $400,000 extra to send her to medical school. So yes, of course she needed those grants. Then Quad brought up the fact that they had deemed nurses not a professional thing anymore. Trump did this year. So some grants and stuff won't be allowed to them. And so he asked them how they felt about the guy who was taken out by ICE in Minnesota, Alex Petty. And Dr. Heavenly said, we thought that, men that are white had privilege. And we're finding out no one has privilege under this administration. So they also asked Dr. Jackie, and he did, about the rise in HIV rates, and she talked about period poverty. Dr. Contessa said if you're out there having sex, you need to be on PrEP. You have at it.
So well, I would give Tamar her credit to say that she was the first one to really come out and say that about PrEP. I'm glad that the physicians are backing her up with that information, because that's interesting. Like I in the way that it's presented, even as the commercial, it does sound like something that single people should be on, sexually active and single. Listen, I'm glad that Andy takes the time to address things that are pertinent, especially to this particular cast, medical women, Black women and their care, different things like that. However, I think it goes without saying, grants exist because they give people who wouldn't have the opportunity. Like I ain't really sure how many people need to tell you that. Like I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It like when it get down to how many, I don't know how many conversations we need to prove about what this administration is doing and taking place and the ways that it hinders, any aid for going that it's gonna, and it's not probably Black people more so than white people, because we make up such a very even less percent than people. We make up the less percent than people going to college, let alone going to go get their MDs. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know.
But Black women have the highest amount of people that are educated out of any little subgroup. And that's the trend, because most of them, I mean, now, and I think that's probably why, that's what they were saying, why they're having a lot of cuts to different things.
Well, that goes without saying. Like we could take black off the card, right? You could really take black off the card. It's about people who don't have the access. Now, black people generally fit the mold more so than any other group because of where you already start off at. But again, aid is for anyone who wouldn't be able to afford that. And so if once you start to think about it, it affects, it's a class issue. We really do. I know what racism is in this country, but what I am going to say is this. I think we focus so much on about race in areas that it's not the race that has anything to do with it, and it's the class. Because whether you white, black, brown, purple, green, whatever, if you're in a lower class, then you're in a lower class. The white lower class can't get no more than the black lower class. Like,
yes, but the statistics still say there's more black women who are going to school versus
the reason why,
any other class.
But I do feel that, and great, right? That's amazing. And you want to know why that is? Because black women are out here raising their families by themselves. So they've done that for generations. So what you've seen, just the same way, you got less teen pregnancies going on right now. It's more women having babies in their geriatric pregnancies right now. And all what we're seeing is a circumstance or like a conclusion to the times before. So yeah, black women are the most educated because we were the most underprivileged for generations before. So it would make sense that as you go on, it would be us. But again, going back to like what you said, why they're taking things away. It is to hinder. It's to hinder. And so I thought about the way I would talk to people about going to school. Think about my own children included. Think about the fact that you didn't take advantage of the things that you had available to you. And so now you enter a society where they're taking that all away. And so now what you left with? Not a motherfucking thing. So that's like, I feel like sometimes if we really realize that some of this is structured in class, because even as a race, you are already put in a particular class. But that's the reason why you got the Chili's, the Nellies, the Snoop Dogs, because even while they are black, they're in a different class. And so they feel like they can choose different than people in a different class. That's why they're going to do what they do for the man, for the administration.
Well, yeah. But what I still will say, all a part of that Project 2025, it is, because it's more like, if we're just talking about solely class, if it was just a class of poor white people, it would be different. But poor white people is not going to school like black people are. So,
well, no, they're not. But
so the people who are most affected during this would be mostly black people.
Well, and you're right. You're 1,000% right. But that's the reason why I'm just saying sometimes you got to take the color out of it, right? And you just got to put it for what it is, because that's what I mean. Even they know that it is going to affect blacks more than anything because we are already mostly there. So yeah, when they take stuff away, it's going to affect us. But I'm saying too, sometimes in order for us to have progressive conversations, we might have to not draw everything back to, well, black women are doing this and black men are doing this, and really take it away, because this administration, while it is going to harm people of color, they're trying to give us a class thing. They're trying to put people in classes and so, because that means whoever is up here, you're gonna have the access. You're gonna be able to do. So that means Snoop Dogg, black as hell, ex-gangster, they put his ass on trial for murder, but he can send all his kids to college. Why? Because he got the money to do so.
Okay, so he's not going to be needing no aid. Okay, true.
But right, that's what I mean.
Okay, but
so when you take away the aid, you're doing that based off a class system. And again, we know the color of people that it affects because we know where they sit in this system. But you are still building. I feel like that's a part of the reason why you got so many people like not able to understand.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is when they're talking about cuts, because when we're talking about budget cuts or whatever to whatever type of program, the whole reason why they're doing it is because, okay, we're going to set monies over here, set monies over there. But we got billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars to go to a war where we can do anything. Now, what I'm just saying is we're going to look at this pot. So who is going to affect the most? Because they already got the numbers of who's doing what. And if
that's the reason why it's able to happen, though, because even in a classes, if people are based on class, the deal is it doesn't even matter who is sitting in this bottom level. They don't care about them at all. So even like that's the reason why you got people that vote against their own.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting up here and you're not even thinking about where these people are.
The people who vote against their own stuff is usually the poor people.
Well, that's what I'm. Okay, I'm right.
They're better than the other.
But again, but for me, that's because you focus on color. White, your poor white. I can't even say this.
Yeah. He wants to feel better than Barack Obama, so I'm going to vote.
So all I'm saying is like because you won't take color off the table and look at it as putting you in a class, because you have the focus on the race and the color. That is what you are focused in on. It's again, the saying is right. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because so for me, I stand in the position that I stand in and always have, because that's it. And so I don't necessarily get confused with the different things that happen because I am able to understand the purpose. Like it's meant to affect anybody up under this level. And if you too stupid to realize that includes you, that includes you, what am I going to do about that? You know what I mean? So that's the reason why I'm saying maybe we have to stop talking about, and I don't mean that to say, because I'm not trying to make it sound like we don't have a race issue. I don't want to make it seem that way. I'm not that person. But what I am saying is to get to results, we might have to leave that shit alone because, to be honest, race is not going to go nowhere. The way that what they tell you, the Bible tell you, you raise up a child in the way they should go, they won't depart. The way this country was founded, stealing and taking shit from it,
it was founded on
I don't really think you about to get away from that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So really now we just have to move, and we have to look at it for what it is. We just always are going to have a race, war, inequality, issue. But the class issue has got to, we've got to tackle that, because you should, working class people, like I've said this since I was in my 20s. Nobody should have to work 2 jobs to have a roof over their head. Now,
Right.
I'm not talking about having all of the extra luxuries and, you know what I mean, like driving, you know what I mean, like the expensive car. Like, I'm talking about just your basic human needs of being able to provide a roof over your head. When you go out and work every damn day, you work a 40-hour job, you should be able to do that.
Exactly. Look, somebody brought up the fact of what is it called? Is it called? Damn, what is the show called? Mary Al Bundy, whatever the name of that show was.
Married with Children.
Married with Children. And they said, look, how he was a shoe salesman, but lived a middle class
house,
life, and his wife did not work. It's like, how in the world could that? You think about a shoe salesman.
Well, y'all know what's funny? I've been looking at the Connors. I kind of came across that. I've been looking at that during the day, but that's another type of example, right?
They poor shit.
Huh?
They poor. They live poor. They consider like white trash.
No, they are. But what I am saying too is that, like, I think if you work a job, so like what they pay teachers, and let's use the teacher salary as the median.
My brother's one.
Well, because I think what they do to teachers is a crime against humanity.
Yes, you gotta have a master's.
Yeah, I think it's a crime against humanity to sit up and pay teachers what you pay them.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, how the hell? I think he just got out his crate, because I know damn well I locked him up in there.
Yeah, I think what they started him out like 50.
And so with that, if you make a good 45, 50, 60,000, you should be able to purchase a home.
Oh, you should.
You should be able to purchase a home at the very minimum.
You should.
That's what
houses are all $300,000 now. So.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, the stuff that's going on right now is ridiculous. And as people, we just really got to let some of this shit go and look at shit for what it is worth. Right? That's what I'm saying. That's why I just went back to teachers. Because I think we all could agree that teachers should get paid more money than what they get paid.
But they're not going to get paid more because people who got properties want the property taxes where it doesn't increase. So,
and then same thing with the nurses getting there. They're not professional, taken away from them. Nurse care, and I'm gonna tell you this, because the shame that they've done in the nursing community already is you've got so many people going into the nursing community that don't even have a heart for caring for people. They're in there because they know that they can get the pay that they want to get, right? Yeah. But yet, that's why we talk about nursing homes and stuff, because they get the lowest of the low up in their case. But I'd say this about nurses. Nurses are the backbone to the physicians. Your physician, if you ever have any type of procedure, let's just go to giving birth. Let's just go back with that.
Mm-hmm.
You spend more time with your nurse than you do with your physician.
Yeah.
While you having that baby, while you laboring with that baby, after you delivered that baby. Mm-hmm. That nurse is the one that's coming in, doing whatever got to be done to help you, walking you to the bathroom, helping you change this, going to get the baby over here. That doctor come, catch the baby, honey, wash their shit up, and they on their way on out the door. And don't get me wrong, they earn what they say, pay the cost to be the boss. You earn the right to have that type of thing. But what I am saying is like we're not gonna diminish what nurses, what their purpose is and what they're there to do. That is where patient care happens.
Yeah.
Is with your fucking nurse.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's already, it's already a low care trend, in my opinion, just because not everybody goes into nursing because they have a heart to care for people. They're just trying to get to
the bag.
Yeah, get to the bag.
Yes, it's low care also because the insurance run whatever it can get.
Well, you know what? I'm going to dispel that. Your insurance don't have anything to do with your level of care.
No. Okay.
The reason why is because I'm gonna tell you.
I'm talking about like your insurance will only approve like when you did. It was talking about having babies. When I had a baby, and especially when I had a cesarean, you stayed 4 days in the hospital. Okay, the insurance don't. I think they stay 2 days now. So that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Like that.
Yes, what they're saying is okay. No,
you can't. And you know what I think about that? I'm glad you brought that up because I think that is a separate issue that doesn't. It could have, like you say, insurance set that thing up. Because I agree with you that, like, usually if you have a cesarean, you was in there for a good week or so. Or I think there was a rule, like, until you had a bowel movement or something like that.
Yes, but, they don't do that anymore.
But, I'm glad you brought that up because I know somebody who, that person said they left after having a C-section the next day. And I didn't even believe that. I did not believe it. I did not believe it. I said, you lying to me because ain't nobody did that. Like
my cousin did that. She left out the next day. I said, huh?
Now, I'm gonna say it's a separate issue because I think that goes into women care. I have found myself a lot more passionate, and it's probably been because of the couple situations I've experienced in which this world think that women are like machines.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe we got something to do with that, and maybe it's just the chauvinistic, idea also. But I'm like to your point, you just gave birth, like. Go to the cesarean section because that's what I hear. Like they cut you in half, honey. They pull your damn organs up out your body, and then to go get that baby, and then go put everything back, and then you go send somebody up out the hospital. 2 days later, like go ahead. Now the deal is once you gone from certain places, now you got to get back in real life. It's almost like women are treated like animals. Like you don't get a chance to recoup.
Yeah, but just incubator. I said, just housing something for 9 months and like it ain't nothing,
Like the procedure I had, she sent me with some ibuprofen, and I'm thinking, girl, you just burned off my fibroids. Ibuprofen?
They amputated my daddy toe and gave him some damn Tylenol. And when they cut off his leg, they did the same. I said, wait a minute now.
And not for nothing, I was in pain.
Yeah.
Mad as fuck. Cause I'm like, are you like you just burned off on my uterus and you gave me some ibuprofen? I can't even take ibuprofen for my cramps. You think that's gonna help me while you done burned off? So I'm saying that to say I think women's care is like a whole nother entity outside of just patient care in general. Yeah, I think women's care got to be looked at way different. The shit y'all do, we got to go through. I probably devastated my kids when I explained how the pap smear go down. That's why I was like, you know what they do to us when they give us a pap smear? Like, you got to lift your legs up. You know what I'm saying? She got to open you up. Like, what the fuck?
They crank it up.
Yeah. What the hell is going on here?
Okay, so Simone, the ladies leave the stage and they're back in the room. And Simone said this room is bringing back memories from last year of the argument that Simone and Quad got into. Now, I will say this about that argument that Quad and Simone got into last year. Simone was unhinged then.
No, I thought Quad was unhinged. That's funny.
Last year?
Yeah, I thought Quad was unhinged.
No, the way Simone.
The way Quad went off and was whatever she said, you MFing bitch, and it was like, whoa, because I know that they was going back and forth.
Yes, but the way, but the tone that
Quad went there.
I thought Simone.
Okay. Let me just say this. I take up for Simone because I think I have a problem with my tone, right? I try not to. I try not to.
You know, it just seemed like it was very. It came out of nowhere, and I just thought. To me, that was definitely not entertaining because I didn't know if they was gonna fight.
I thought it was Quad that went there though. I really did because for me, I am gonna stick on this though, and I don't know if it's right or not. So that's why I say I think maybe I'm taking up for her because maybe I feel very close to this or something. If you know who I am. And you know how I speak, I don't really think that there should be a lot of confusion about our correspondence. Right? I think that people who know, like, it's a different. Now, if you just want a problem, then you're going to have a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so what was the problem last year in that?
I don't for remember. Me, I can't remember where they I can't remember that because we on season 12 reunion. But when they showed the clip, and I do remember that from last year, like Quad did and when I say went there, because it doesn't mean that Simone wasn't loud and yelling, doesn't mean that. But when Quad responded to her, she responded with a different level of aggression. So, like I said, it's kind of like I can have a certain tone with you, but I'm probably not going to say, you shut the fuck up, you bitch. Like if you hear, again, I can have a tone and we can just be talking. But if I say, shut the fuck up, you bitch, like in my tone, you gonna feel now you're gonna feel some type of way because it's gonna sound different. The words that I'm using sounds different than me just saying something and being loud. Like there's a difference in the way if you know me, like I'm saying, that should be perceived. You know what I'm saying? But like even me saying that, I've never even said those words to any person in my life. I've not had to go and be like, no, I don't. No, not in that way. No, now don't get me wrong. Not in that way.
I definitely have.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I've not went stone cold off on the person, right? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all because I have, and I can, okay, and I will, okay. But but what I'm saying is, it's certain verbiage, especially depending on who you are. it's certain verbiage that I don't use. Like it's certain verbiage I use. Like that's how you know where you are. In for me, you know what I'm saying? Like if you some person on the street, I might say that to that person, to some stranger who I ain't never met, don't plan on talking to again. I might tell that person, shut the fuck up, bitch. But I don't think I'm talking to anybody who I care about. I'm not using that type of language with you. I'm not.
Mm-hmm. I gotta go back and
Yeah,
watch
I'm
that
not,
scene again.
huh?
I gotta go back and watch that scene again because
Yeah,
I
I'm
felt like
not.
it was Simone.
Well, I think that Simone is loud, and I think that that's easy for people to. And again, I feel I guess I'm taking up for her because it's happened to me. Like it's something that is such an easy it's just so easy. If you don't want to have no accountability, if you want to change the subject, if you know, like then you will focus on my tone, but you won't focus on what is being said and what we actually talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And that's what I mean, because I know I can have a tone. I know I got a tone of I don't play. So I know I got
Because
a
it seems
fucking
like
tone.
I remember seems like Simone was very aggressive with her tone, and because then she came up to Quad.
No,
And
that was quiet. That was quiet.
no,
I'm
no, it was because
that was quiet.
I don't feel two ways about either one of them. And when I was watching it, I thought, dang, Simone, because her tone went, because her voice went to another level that it normally that's different. I think it was deeper or something. I'm like, what the hell wrong with her? And but I don't remember what the argument was about.
Yeah, I don't remember what the argument was, but I felt like it was quiet. And like I said, like if you know you had like, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm making excuses. Maybe I'm making excuses for my own self. You know, like I don't know. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know. But I do feel like if you have a person that you know, like you can't know that Simone gets loud, and then when she's loud, now that's the argument? No, bullshit. Bullshit ain't nothing but chewed up grass. That's bullshit.
What's the argument about?
That's right. Right. That's what we got to get into. Cause it had nothing. Simone gonna yell, and they know that. And that's why I say it's the same thing with me. Like I'm trying to work on myself about it because I feel like, well, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it is something you can work
Whatever it
on.
was, Dr. Heavenly sat there and cried. She said, I shut the fuck up.
But I'm like, I'm a loud person and I'm just naturally loud. Like I'm naturally loud. Most people, and it's funny when I recognize it. It happened to me this 2 weeks ago. I went to an event and I met one person that I knew there, and I'm behind somebody else. Now I never reached out to say hey or nothing, but I'm just behind this person talking. But as I'm talking, guess what? The person turned around. Why? Because they heard my voice. You know what I mean? Like and I think I have a distinct voice. That's whatever. So people generally don't forget my voice. But anyway, I'm just saying that I'm loud in general. And so if I get excited, I'm going to use the term excited because that could be good or bad. I could be excited about you just told me something that was, great news. And now now I'm squealing and shit. Or you could do something that pissed me off. And now I'm going in. But whatever it is, my octave is gonna go a little bit higher than wherever my usual tone is, wherever that's it. I don't even know what that is, y'all. But I think I get the most upset, yeah, about the people who've been with me, been around me the longest. is if I have to have a conversation with you about my tone and like you focusing in on that, then I know you full of shit. Because we can get past that to talk about what the real issue is.
Okay. Look, I'm looking up what were they arguing about, asking Chat GPT. Like the same old shit.
Yeah, I don't have any idea. Well, they've argued for so many years. It's not even, well, I was gonna say it's not even important to me what they was arguing for, but I
Yeah,
am going to say
because they came
it
out
was
to set.
hard verbiage that took it to another level. Like when you start telling people shut the fuck up, bitch, and bitch, you a ball, I'll beat your ass and all that shit. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. And maybe that's a testament to where I'm from. Because you can't talk to me like that and think we gonna be cool. Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can talk to me in your normal in who you are. You know what I mean? Like, because who you are, either I'm gonna deal with it or I'm not. So I can deal with you and who you are, but all of that's aggressive. And I'm saying that from a person. Y'all know I curse. I'm saying I curse. I am a cursor. But I also know the difference between using curse words in my verbiage and when I'm cursing at someone. I generally don't curse at people.
I do.
Well, see, I'm loud, and that's why I'm just a little more kinder than he is.
I'm every bit of my daddy.
Now, and again, if I do curse at you, you can take that for face value. I don't fuck with you. Because what that means is I haven't even taken the time to think about the way that I'm going to talk to you. You know what? Like, for real. Or that you don't have any bearing. Like in my life for me to take in that. But like friend who I want to go back and talk to, you never gonna hear me tell you shut the fuck up, bitch. You never gonna hear me say that.
No. Me and my friends been friends since we were kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You never gonna hear me say that.
No, we don't have those kind of conversations. So.
Right. Yeah, again, right. I don't, and stuff can get heated, but yeah, you never gonna hear me tell you shut the fuck up, bitch. You never gonna hear me tell you that.
I think I've never gotten into it with my friends.
Oh, that's good. Well, I don't think I have either, to be honest. Yeah. I feel like anybody who I've had, and it's not, there was one friendship, I believe, I would say that we had a I guess incident or something. But the way that I see it is the friendship wasn't what I thought it was if we wasn't able to come past that. Because I think what it started off as like an issue because I got upset and my tone, right? Because like I said, I can be very, that's what I mean. Like I am very, you always can come back to me and be like, well, I didn't like the way you said such and such. And I'd be like, you know what? Okay. Because I know me. You know what I mean? Like I know me. And I know sometimes I be so upset that I'm not thinking. You know what I mean? Like, and so I'm speaking, and as far as like what I mean about cursing, like I'm just conscious about that, but I'm speaking, and I just speak in my way, you know what I'm saying? But again, so I don't think it was the actual incident. I just think that there was something already there that we really had to, come out as like whatever. And so we weren't able to get past because I I've not had arguments with friends. I've had arguments with more family members than anything.
I I try to. I think I have only had an argument. Well, it was kind of one sided because she didn't say nothing, and I just went the fuck off to the point I was hoarse, and um, I was mad, and I don't think I too much get that mad, but I was mad. But
And that's kind of what how I was with that position. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I'll give her like feeling some type of way because I also came back to apologize about it. You know what I mean? Because to your point, the situation, I just got mad. And so
I ain't gonna
I
that was
just,
right.
like, I was like, why would you do X, Y, and Z? Like, woo, woo, woo. But one thing about it, I didn't curse in that whole thing. And it's so funny how I can even think about that. So there's a thing about cursing when you just can't find the words or whatever. Like that's
Yeah.
very true about it. Because I think that's probably I curse more just in random, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
talking fast or whatever. But yeah, I didn't curse her. I didn't call her out her name. You know what I mean? Like anything like that. Because again, that's not who I am naturally. That's not who I am.
Mm. I don't
But
know
it
what I
is what it
said.
is.
I know I
I
cussed her out.
was hurt behind that. I was hurt behind it because also it made me feel like like you don't get a chance, you don't get the opportunity to just be out of bounds. Like because maybe I did go out of bounds. I don't get you know what I'm saying? I don't get a second shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I went there. I didn't care. And I think that's what shaped me far as like my business and having business and doing business with relatives. I too much. I really don't. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
nah. And they call me
Because
out.
one thing about it is, I'll say you to your point. It's cool. Most people will like if you don't mind, like calling somebody out or woo woo woo. They cool with it until it's
Damn,
right.
getting called out. But yeah, so I was like, oh no. I even remember my dad asking me about maybe doing childcare for my sister. I'm like, I said, this way we don't fall out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to keep it strictly professional. We ain't gonna fall out. So I no cousin kids, none of that. Nah.
Yeah.
I only have one cousin that when we got along just fine because they had my money on time and had the any young person. No, I'm not keeping your kid. I'm not gonna keep your kid more than you. Never. So no. I thought you no. So no. So I just somebody said you don't know. They don't know. No. You're not keeping so and so kid. No. I'll refer them
Right.
somewhere else. But I can't do no. Nah, because I want my money when I want my money. And whatever ever is supposed to go along, I need your kid to be here and have all the things. And not because we're related, you think you can take advantage of that. Because I
That's
will
right.
cuss you out.
That's right.
For real. I will pull a Miss Nell.
Right.
So yeah, so the next thing we're on to the men. And Eugene is first chair, and he's happy.
Oh, I just found okay, I got it too, where we can do the damn recording sorry and be able I knew it had to be a way where we can record it for each other. Go ahead, tell us the rest. Go ahead.
Okay. So we have Eugene, he's in first chair. And here Andy, messy ass, gonna ask him, are you going to be a leader, Eugene? He is too messy. And so Andy wants to know about the drama that was going on in the back. And the man was like, "What drama? We had no drama. We just back there talking." No, he wanted to know, and so Eugene told him what happened. We got Lapgate going on again.
Mm-hmm.
So they talk about that, and he basically said, um, simultaneously, the women are back there talking, and that's when Latoya or Toya tells Jackie that it was all her fault because you the one who said he didn't pull me down or whatever, and so we have the discussion between Eugene and Curtis, and basically they ain't agreeing.
Mm-hmm.
Eugene sees it like he sees it and like it was, and Curtis is somewhere out there. So, and he's shitty. So, then from there, they asked Dr. Damon about the massage. He's like, "What massage?" He said, "Actually, I forgot I got one." He said, because he's used to laying down getting a massage. I guess he didn't consider that a massage.
Yeah, that's what he said, honey.
So, that kind of broke up the little tense moment that was going on. So they get back to Eugene and the off work day. What is it called? What kind of takeoff day party? Whatever. Toya had.
Oh yeah, the day off work or whatever they
Yeah,
call it. Mm-hmm.
and he called it a
A
merry
merry
moment
moment. Mm-hmm.
that he was having at the moment, and it was a skip day party. And Steve said, "Oh, that's a way to spin the narrative." And Eugene says, excuse me. Steve said, "Because your wife basically blamed Heavenly and my wife and said, you bitches, whatever. And you apologizing for nothing because they had a lot of judgment in their face. And he wasn't apologizing for Toya's behavior. So Steve goes, I see you. You're Mr. Bush." I might not say it all right because I ain't write it down. But
okay.
Eugene was like, "Look, you're a new guy. And I've been here 12 years and we ain't never had these issues going on until you got here, basically." And he was, Curtis says, "Well, whether he's new or not, the issue started at your house." And he said, "No matter what, there should be some respect." Now, what you think about all that?
So for me, I just think that Steve, I feel like I think I started with this last week and it didn't change this week once we got into the episode and saw it. I felt like Steve was in his bag. I thought he was out of pocket for referring to Eugene as Mr. Bush. I thought that it was low hanging fruit. It felt like him, his wife, Dr. Damon, and Heavenly have been canoodling, going on double dates because everything that he was saying, it felt like it came out of Dr. Heavenly's mouth, in my opinion. So I wasn't happy with Steve on this reunion. I thought he was out of line. Now, was his issue out of line? No. But I think the way he decided to address it, he went too far.
I would say up to this part, no. But after he went in to go and dig his heels in on Eugene in the back and bring up the fact of what Toya has said as a joke or whatever, I thought it was way, what is it, beyond the pale.
But it's funny that you had to wait till you got there, because that's what I'm saying. It already started. Like everything, as soon as he said, "I see who you are. You're Mr. Bush."
Because remember, he said we had the party and some people wouldn't be invited. Yeah, but still, he was being passive aggressive. Eugene was, because we had the party and it was a cast thing, and some of the people we know that everybody wouldn't be there because they're not real friends. But you saying oh, but we had the cast party, and some of the people that was there
What
wouldn't
I'm
have been invited.
saying, I hear. I'm sorry to cut you off because I'm gonna just get to it. What I'm saying is the insult that he used was a recycled insult, and you ain't even been here. I agree with Eugene. You ain't been here long enough for you to even have that particular, for that to be your insight, unless it's coming from somebody else. And now you
can't look at how Eugene mannerism is, because he was kind of being a lot of that.
You can do all well. Listen, one thing about it, when it get to us discussing Toya about, like, you don't like her, and you're not going to, and I don't think you really care for Eugene, because what I'm saying,
I like him.
Well, his mannerisms doesn't even matter. What I am saying is,
I can have a difference of opinion and not just like that.
It's like everything that Steve had to say in his argument with Eugene sound like something one of those females fed you, whether it was Dr. Heavenly or your own wife. And so let me be the one to say it, so that it can forever be said. If anybody was acting like a bitch on that stage, it was Steve.
I don't think so.
It was, yeah, because what he did is what bitches do. Now, I'm going to be clear about that.
I don't think so.
That's the way men don't behave like that.
Yes,
and that's
they do.
The reason why when he was scanning the room trying to get a high five on the shit that he was saying, he couldn't get one. He couldn't get one Hosanna, okay? Because men don't act like that. Now, y'all might
do that. Talking about, because a lot of men act like that.
Y'all might do that shit on y'all own terms, and when y'all in the barber shop, y'all might do the gossiping and all of that.
That's men.
Well, y'all do all of that. But what I'm telling you and saying for a fact, he's scared. You could look at his eyes. You could see him every time he say something he thought that was gonna get some shit. He looking up for somebody to validate him. Now I ain't sure who, but he was looking for somebody in that room to validate him, and not one of them other men did it. Why? Because they don't move like that. And if they
older too, we're talking about people in 2 different age groups.
It would not take Steve. They done been on this TV for 12 seasons.
Yeah, you don't think he can't make that
want to do it
himself about the way Eugene was acting.
Everybody was being now, and I'm not one that do that to men. I don't do that to men. I don't do that to men. I don't weaponize their manhood and compare them to women. But since that's what everybody like to do when it comes to Eugene, then let's be clear. If anybody was acting like a bitch on that stage, it was Steve.
I don't think
and
so.
I stand on that one.
Mm-hmm. I stand on it too. And I don't think so. I think when he went backstage, I thought it was very distasteful to bring up. And that's why Toya probably shouldn't make jokes like that, so they can weaponize and say, oh, your wife think I'm fine or whatever. Because I thought that was way.
But that's funny, because you never said that you don't think that Heavenly shouldn't keep talking about Eugene dick being small. You don't think that's out of pocket?
No, I did not say that. But I did not like that Toya said maybe she wanted to suck it.
Oh my God.
Okay. That's what Toya said.
No, but I think sometimes, like, that's what I mean. You have a bias. You have a bias. And it's so clear.
I'm not. No, that's the same way. Look, the same way you make up all the things for Portia. I feel that way.
But also you never see me like that's what I'm saying. Like
yes, I do see the role that Heavenly does.
In this very instance, you really you gave somebody a pass for the very same thing another person did. It's the very same thing.
Who did I give a pass?
You just said like Heavenly. You say she okay to say what she say because Toya said it first. And so then you
said Toya brought it there. They were going to use it against her. I said Toya brought. I said the reason that they are saying this is because Toya brought it. And so I don't think that Dr. Heavenly should say.
I mean, but again, who else would say anything like that? Not like it. That is
when she said it, all of them said it.
It's such a cop. It's such a cop. It doesn't even stand. No, like you say, she brought it up. Like she's the only. Hold on, she's the only person that could bring it up.
Yeah, but you don't bring that kind of mess up.
It's not.
And knowing the kind of women you're dealing with. You don't bring that kind of stuff up, knowing the kind of women that you are dealing with.
But this is what I mean about Heavenly. Yes. That's the reason why Heavenly, because for her MO, she does that to every single person. She did it to Contessa. She do it to, the only person she don't do it to is Jackie. And so she did it to Simone. She did it to everybody. So what I mean is, it's not wrong for you to. So
I never said it wasn't wrong. I did not say that.
Andy asking the men, do they think that their personal issues get weaponized against them?
Yes, they do.
Dr. Damon had to be the first one to say yeah, but it's so fucked up because you only saying yeah because you're so concerned about whatever your issue with your son being weaponized against you, right? You so concerned about that, you ready to cuss somebody out before they even say your son's name. You ready to put them in their place. But yet you can't give anybody else that space to. Listen, Toya talked bad about her husband. That is true. But like I said, and I won't change it. It's her husband to talk bad about. It's not your place to do it.
Want nobody to say anything about your husband, knowing the type of women that you're around. If I'm going to say something negative about my husband, damn sure ain't going to be around somebody like Heavenly. Not for somebody to throw it back up in my face. I would never do that, ever. So she got drunk. She said it because they all was drinking and she was kind of toe up. And this is what she said. And the first thing that fell out of quiet mouth while they were in that limo saying, oh, his thing is small.
I mean, okay. I don't think I'm over this conversation too, to be quite honest, because I don't even think it's something that is seriously something that needs to even be debated. That's what I mean. Like, I'm like, you think that lady was seriously telling you she think her husband's dick is small? Like, get out of here. I really think that she was saying something for funny purposes. But at the same time, because like what that look on your face, because that's what people do when they want to have a problem with you. They're not going to give you that. They're going to take what you said and use it against you. That's that. Like, I don't listen, let's just be clear with all these men running around here. All of them ain't slanging Big D. So that's that on that. I have no idea what woman come across me who's sleeping with her husband and her husband dick ain't big. Why would anybody tell you that? Unless they're ready to.
Why would they say the opposite?
I would never say
that.
I'm saying that to say, why is it not the most reasonable? That's what I mean. Sometimes we get so caught up in this reality world that we feed into stuff that It's like you can't see that. Why is it the most reasonable thing about why she would say that would be for entertainment? Why is that not the why is the one thing that everybody want to dug into is that this lady literally said her husband dick was small on TV? You think she really did that? I don't think so.
And how would that
No,
be
I don't
entertainment?
think so.
Well,
Yeah,
how
I
would
don't
this
think
talking
so.
about my husband's penis size be entertainment though?
I don't think that she was, so that's the deal. I don't think she was talking about her husband's dick size. I think she was saying something that was in general for what they were saying in the moment, which was name one thing you were surprised about when you got married. I think what she said was something to be funny.
Okay.
And that was that.
Okay.
But no, I do think that. I do think that. But that's what I mean. Like, and so then when you get Heavenly over here going to the hell, you know what I'm saying? And to your point, I think they handled it because to your point, there is a little bit of, right. If you give a little something in, cool. You give a person, okay, fine. But Heavenly don't she didn't let up about that. Because even that statement was God knows how many seasons ago. I'm just saying,
I was watching
and so, right. And so,
9, I think.
yeah, I just call a spade a spade. That's it. I call a spade a spade. And so,
when you're saying
I
that,
don't think that she mean I didn't think she said it in that light. I think, and so going on, I think you have to take the roll with the punches, because maybe that was something that you wasn't supposed to say, because it could be taken the way that it was. Like Carlos always tell you about the comments for the comments section. Like yeah, if you post a video, I had to tell my cousin this about, because he went viral on one of his videos. It's a weight loss video. And so then he was talking about how a lot of the comments was coming on, and a lot of them was mean,
yeah.
And so I'm telling him, and so I repeated that same thing.
Section.
I say the comments are for the comment section. Like, ain't nobody talking to you. They talking to each other. So you go ahead and leave them. Because, right, people might say something that is mean, but you leave that for them to talk to each other about. They're not talking to you. You know, and that's that. So, it's the same thing. Like, you got to go ahead and go with the punches. But I feel like Heavenly takes shit too far. She knows that she does. She's a habitual line crosser. So you either have to learn how to deal with that. That's probably why they kind of, and that's the reason Toya should have been making sure she do vote for her, so that she could get on down her
district.
Yeah.
She's not in her district.
You should have been promoting her for everybody else to vote,
Heavenly lives in Conyers.
But also, to your point, I think that it's a double-edged sword, because I do think that they know that they have to be entertaining.
True.
They know the people who gonna do it. They know that they can do certain stuff, and the public is not going to think that hard about what it is they've presented. So, it could all be a scheme that Ty set up. Honey, Toya and Heavenly could be the best of friends, and we don't even know it.
That's what I think. They're here to get a check and get to the next season.
Yeah.
So, and that was
for what you get paid, for what you gotta do. Who wouldn't?
Yeah. And that's why I had my opinion on Jackie and Dr. Simone. Only thing got me a little confused was the tears. But I honestly, maybe her feelings were hurt, but I feel like once, because we were talking about it the last live, and then the next thing we see, they hugged up. That's why I put your name in the comments. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, not that I didn't want to see them friends, but I didn't. They made it seem like maybe it was going to happen at the
Yeah,
end of the
like
show.
that was
Maybe,
the end.
yeah. Like, is
Mm-hmm.
this the end? So I'm like, oh my goodness, the friendship is over with. Then we see the next thing. I'm like, I'm not that like I said, I didn't want to see it broken up, but I feel like a lot of this stuff they do for TV, and
Yeah.
I don't think it is as deep as it is
Mm-hmm. Which
with
that's why
them.
I'm talking about that whole penis comment. Right. Like, yeah, that wasn't as deep. To me, it wasn't.
Well, when she said it, I just felt like the other girls was having, a good time. But the
Right,
ones
that's
who
what I'm
listen,
saying.
the ones who was
Right, it was
listening
just
to it, that
something to
first thing that
say. Because even I'm kind of like that. I might just like if you say something and you leave, like it's something I can say to, you know what I mean? Like, okay, fine. I thought for that was funny. I didn't. I mean, listen, that's her husband. I don't know if I don't know. I don't have enough interest to think about what size penis that man got. I don't know. That's
I
her
don't care.
husband. Yeah, I ain't never
I
thought
don't
about
care.
nobody's penis size,
I don't care.
honestly. So I think Heavenly
But
just goes too far, and I think at a point it just gets to be a bit much.
so, what did you think about the back and forth between Andy was talking to Steve, and then Toya made her comments in the back and forth, and Eugene just kind of he sat there, and I
You
noticed
mean when
me.
Steve was so they was talking about the tickets,
Mm-hmm.
and Steve and Mimi feeling like they was targeted.
Targeted.
I think that conversation is just the difference between editing and whatever the truth is. Because yeah,
Because
I can
oh,
see why
go
they
ahead.
felt that way. You know what I mean? Like I can understand it, but I also felt like if you really wanted to resolve it, you could have resolved it very easily. So going back to what I just said about Steve and his behavior right on this episode, same.
Okay, so then I seen a quick interview with Dr. Contessa and like some guy on YouTube. But anyways, how she had explained that no, the cast is never paid for any, cast event like that. And because he was asking her about the Met Gala. And I guess the confusion that is if Jackie had already paid and Simone was saying that she paid for so many seats and paid her money too.
I
And
believe Candy addressed this before, like, and so I'm gonna say what I feel like I know about these cast things, right? So there are certain things that the housewives have and do and host that are their responsibility, like your kid's birthday party. Like, no, Bravo is not coming in paying for your kid's birthday party so you can film it on for the show. The cash trip they don't have to pay for.
yeah,
But this Met Gala, the Met Gala, I would say that they most certainly had to put that on themselves. Now, I would agree, like, because Andy asked it on the reunion, which goes back into them setting it up as a 501. Now, before it felt like it was just something y'all was doing, to have something to film for the show. But now that you actually have this set up as a nonprofit, now you can get a donation from Andy that might give you money to make that look way better.
$10,000. Yeah.
But no, their personal things that they do, they don't pay for those.
No, I'm not
That's the
saying that.
reason why we saw Britney stuff go the way it did. Or was that girl name? Brit from Housewives. That whatever it was she
Okay.
did. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of different
Her
things.
luncheon.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm saying, and like I said, and I do have at least Candy. I know for sure Candy is one housewife that's spoken about it, about that specifically. What about those events being paid for, and she confirmed that also. That, like I say, the personal stuff that they do is theirs, but like the cast things, yeah, they don't pay for that.
Okay. So then also, so they were supposed to pay. I guess the confusion is if Dr. Jackie had already paid, then why was there another interest feed in? Because if say I wasn't
Right. That's what I think. That's what we kind of pointed out and was confused about. Even like you said, Dr. Simone pointed out, I paid for a table and I bought 10 extra tickets. Which now what we don't know is, did you give those 10 extra tickets out? You know what I mean? Like like I said, when Dr. Mimi said it on the episode, oh, we are a part of Dr. Jackie's table, it made it sound like they did not pay for their own tickets, and that they were coming in to sit at Dr. Jackie's table.
Yeah.
That's and so that's that. That's what it sounds like.
I mean, because I guess if we weren't cast members and me and you attended and someone gave us tickets to go, then they would say, no, you still owe us $150 to get in. You'd be
I
like,
don't
no.
think that would have happened. I think the reason why they were called out that way was because they were cast members. So I do think that in their mind, the cast or Toya or whatever they had done in the 2 years before then, I do think that they thought everybody in the cast was supposed to put in to help this go, which is why they had the conversation about the newbies. Because it don't seem fair that you would ask somebody who just got there for $2,500 towards this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So so I think the idea was that the cast was supposed to put it on. You were part of the cast. But he made it clear that he felt like he was speaking for his wife also. Let's just be clear. But he felt like Mimi had not been included in none of the planning. And so, like he said at the beach, they was out. I don't know if they dropped the ball on, like, yeah, I would assume that anybody in the cast knew what was going on. But if he say they didn't know, I guess they didn't know. I don't like that. Doesn't seem to make sense to me. You know what I mean? Like
But
that you
it
wouldn't
seems like
know.
Contessa kind of said the same thing. It wasn't.
Yeah, yeah. That don't seem like that makes sense to me that you wouldn't know that. But whatever. Like some stuff. You know how I am. Some shit I'm not gonna argue with a motherfucker about. like I'm not gonna argue about whatever your truth is in your brain.
Yeah. So Contessa, she made her statement again. She said that it became the Eugene and Toya show, and she said she has to be honest. She just didn't feel. She said Eugene should have been a guest, and basically the only people who should have known who didn't pay for a ticket should have been them.
Well, listen, they have a board now, and so maybe everything should run a little bit smoother at this point. That's the only answer. You know what I mean? Like that's the only answer. Y'all have a board now, and so it should go different.
Yeah, so they'll get accounting next time because it seems like they didn't get no accounting for what was actually raised, or I mean, they know what was raised as far as the scholarships, but like,
well, hopefully they got what they set out to get, which was teach Toya a lesson. So I think it's funny nobody asked that question. Did she learn a lesson? Oh, the jury, we still waiting on that, huh? Oh, okay.
I think she did. I think she did. I think she did because she had to get her husband
Well,
involved
I'm
and
like
she
you
was
said,
stressed
nobody
out.
asked it on the reunion though, so.
Yeah, I think it was obvious that she did. Um,
Mhm.
it was stressing her. That's why her husband jumped in,
Mhm.
and he's trying to help her out, but the ladies didn't take too kindly to it. I guess he didn't want to see his wife flop, um, or
No,
fail or be made a
I
fool
think
of.
that I think, and I think Contessa did kind of say it in the beginning, even though her explanation was about what she thought his role should have been. But I think the main thing was you just like even whether they paid or didn't pay because they are part of the cast and that you just didn't have no business really kind of trying to call them out the way you did. Now, yeah, that was bogus.
So then Quad goes on to give her explanation of what happened in the prior years and why Toya didn't understand. But Toya had said she did just like Dr. Jackie. Dr. Jackie collected money and didn't tell nobody nothing
And all Dr. Jackie was doing was shaking her head.
the whole time. So Toya said in the reunion on the text, in one of the comments sections of something, that basically she would be vindicated about putting money in the prior years. So when she said Dr. Jackie was shaking her head, yes, I said, I wish somebody would have said, well, how much did she? Because Dr. Jackie isn't letting it perpetrate, letting this lie go on that Toya did pay money. They all assuming that she didn't pay no money. So what was it? Because it
Didn't I
was
tell
not
y'all
answered.
3 weeks ago when we started talking about this Met Gala that it all went back to Jackie?
And here she go.
And nobody said boo. Nobody wanted no extra explanation about what the handshake meant or not. But fine. Y'all just want to leave Dr. Jackie alone. I guess. Okay.
So they asked he wanted to know, it just seems like you ladies just can't get it together about this Met Gala. Dr. Jackie, what is the problem? I guess it's how it started. But I am glad to tell you that in 30 days, that the charity will be a for real charity. So you said, well, I the one got that going, Dr. Jackie. So from there,
Which that was important though. Like that I get where Toya come from sometimes because they won't give her anything. They won't. And it's been that way since the beginning, which that goes back to Jackie also. Like, I think I've said this out loud. Jackie is a mean girl. Like, I mean, she's a sweet and nice and soft spoken and all of those things, but she's still a mean girl. So I'm saying this go back all the way to season one. See, like Toya, same as Quad. Like we get, I guess you might have got that in the notes, but Quad ended up crying, about
mm-hmm,
her coming up through the trenches.
trenches.
But it's
Mm-hmm.
the same with her. Like, yes, and Dr. Jackie was the one that would make a deal out of the MD versus the MRSs. That was her distincting them that way. Then when it comes to the stay-at-home mom, when it comes to Toya, they've always diminished her in a way. That's the reason why Simone say ain't nobody gonna be able to go to her house and say it need to be pressure washed, right? Because what she wanted to speak up for her about was to say, no, she keeps her house up. She's doing whatever the
Mm-hmm.
things you think a stay-at-home mom should do. Um, so so Toya has been battling like, and not that is like, because it's not anything to do with her security, but it's just in this group, right? She's been battling that with them the entire time. The entire time. And it did come from Jackie. Jackie thinks less of her about her being a stay-at-home mom and the fact that she don't work.
Did she think that way of Mariah?
Well, if she, I say yes because I can't imagine that she had any other thought about anybody who didn't have the MD, right? But I will say it wasn't as visible or vocal, and maybe that's because Mariah actually was the one that put this together. You know what I mean? Like in that.
Well, Mariah said Dr. Jackie, so she told Carlos Link that Dr. Jackie was the real villain.
And she is. Like even when she said it, I didn't necessarily agree with her then, but I agree with her today. I do. Yeah.
Well, we know that Dr. Jackie goes back and keeps the confusion going because Dr. Heavenly told it. And she said that Jackie said that she was terrible to work with, when they was doing the photo shoot and giving Toya the business. And then Dr. Jackie sitting there with her mouth like, what? Yes, you said it.
Well, it was the same as when Toya was saying, well, I did the same thing that Jackie did. That's what like she but it's like, well, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like you didn't verbally, going back to what I said about the thing with her and Simone. Like, yeah, sometimes it's not good enough to just sit back and give a head nod. Bitch, what you got to say?
Nothing.
Open your fucking mouth.
She don't want to be back there crying again like she was about the statement
Punk ass bitch. Like, no.
She don't want to get caught up on that thing again. And they had her ass up there crying, giving her an apology on social media.
Because she was wrong for that too. That was when she said what she said about Buffy. She was wrong for that too. You was. She was out of pocket.
No. Buffy jumped on this. No, they brought up about a live that Dr. Heavenly and Jackie was on. And they were taking questions and answers. I mean, questions and stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah, about this. Yeah, she had made a statement about Black women and something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but Buffy was the one who jumped on it and then brought back
up. That's because Jackie was dead wrong about telling Buffy's business at that fucking event.
Yeah.
And then she wanted to scoop it up like, oh, well, I was just trying to, like, girl, you a doctor. Like, you should know HIPAA better than anybody. Did you ask that lady if you could tell her business like that?
Simone should have got it, though, because that was her doctor.
Well, listen, y'all. So that brings Married to Medicine to a wrap, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know what we are looking forward to. I know that contestants seem to already gave Heavenly
the win.
Yeah, the kiss of goodbye. Like, hey,
wrap it up.
Me. So I guess coming up, we'll see what happens with Dr. Heavenly if she ends up winning her seat.
Yeah, first you got to win the primary
for next season. Listen. I could just about imagine the same cast will be coming back. Brandy, but it's like so bad to where she can't come back.
You think Brandy had mouth? You didn't care for her?
Not really. Yeah, she could get another chance, but not really. Again, I think
you didn't know that much about her.
I feel like she was regurgitating somebody else's opinions. So I'd like to see her where I feel like she's regurgitating her own opinions.
Well, she's sticking up for her friend.
It
Um,
doesn't. I'm okay with that, but I'm gonna call it like I see it. You
so what about
regurgitating somebody else's thoughts. Yeah.
so what would you think it'll look like if Heavenly is not back? Do you feel like they need to add someone, or who's going to be the sparring partner for
I'm not sure.
Toya?
I mean, like, because Dr. Heavenly was kind of, I
She's
don't know, like a
polarizing.
key character in a sense. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Mm-hmm.
Toya's going to need somebody to spar with. I don't know. They're going to have to get, they're going to need somebody. I guess kind of don't give a damn a little bit because everybody, I mean, was definitely Jackie's pulled up. She ain't gonna say nothing. She's gonna nod her head. Toya and Dr. Simone is besties right now. So I don't know. Somebody gonna have to work next year. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good reunion. So the men that clocked in, they all deserved a check. I thought they was acting their asses off.
That was Steve.
And Curtis was trying to chime in too. They was, I don't know.
Like, and like I said, and I'm gonna agree with Eugene. No, in all these years, the men and then one of the men behaved the way that Steve did. Now I will give it to him about that.
Definitely. Because that's why I was like, him and Toya going back and forth. Because I don't think that hadn't happened on no other reunion where the man went back and forth with a woman.
And that's right. That's right. So like I say, you can, and like maybe again, maybe stuff like that is just something that I'm sensitive about in general. But trying to pull me in cards about their mannerisms and stuff like that, yeah, go find somebody else. Get you some brain cells or something, like for you, like, because one thing don't mean the other, but what you did, yeah. And the reason why we can say that is because it's physical proof, because you was in a room full of men and did nobody get in that mud with you. So hopefully him and his wife had a good time when they got back to the hotel and talked about the antics.
What is their last name? I'm trying to figure out what's the age difference.
Mimi and Steve?
No, like Steve versus the men.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, you know what? That would be interesting. I feel like Steve is just like I said, I'm just saying what I'm saying because it's been weaponized against Eugene. I generally would never really, I wouldn't go there about men. I just don't. But I think that Steve being from the football world makes him very hyper masculine. And I think that that's what a lot of that come from. But sometimes, like, I can call it out, hyper masculinity shows up as bitch assness.
Sanders. Okay, that's the last name.
So again, y'all, listen, we're going to conclude there. Y'all drop down in the comments. Let us know what you thought about the season. What you think about moving forward? What does season 13 look like? Are we even gonna get a season 13? Because the way Bravo is moving, honey, we gonna keep our fingers crossed. I don't think, not that I think they on the chopping block for any reason, but you just never can tell fooling with Bravo. Okay.
He's 43.
Okay, but I'm thinking just football, hyper masculine, you know what I mean, hyper aggressive, you know what I mean, like that's all there. And I don't know, maybe unless it's my man doing it, like for me, but
oh shit.
I like maybe I might feel a little different. But I just don't like men. Like I don't like men pulling other men cards. Like you, like I don't like where you learn that at.
Girl,
Where
really?
you learn it at?
Girl, he done learned it all of his life. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Where?
They done learned it on the football field. They always calling each other bitches and shit like that. You said it's
Oh,
like
that's what they do out there.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, then. So then I was right then. I don't know because I don't spend no time on the football field.
My son played football from 6 all the way up.
My baby tried. He only did for 1 little year. And listen, I'm so glad that he got up out of there because I don't know how nobody do it. Because listen, you got one time to knock my baby down, and I'm out the stairs like.
My son played from 6 years old all the way. He played his freshman year. Yeah, I miss them days, honey.
Well, I thank God he didn't want to do it another year. Like, thank you, Jesus.
Oh my God, you sound like my cousin.
Baby, like I don't like. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, and I'm joking. Like it seems like I'm joking, but I'm not joking. But I don't play about my kids. Like I don't. And so yeah, it would be hard. That would have been very hard. So thank you, Jesus, he didn't go through that no more.
Oh my goodness. So that's my cousin's like, girl, them coaches ain't gonna be hotter than my son like that. That's what you don't need to be playing. Because you don't need to be playing.
Yep. So listen, make sure y'all go head over to the community tab. Place your vote for the Married to Medicine Season 12 Housewives Awards. We will be back.
How many categories is there?
I think we got 7.
7, okay.
Yep, I think we got 7. MVP, the Flip Flop Award. What else we got? I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, y'all. It's a lot. I mean, the 7 categories is good. It's good.
Who would you say was the MVP of the reunion?
Toya. Toya is the MVP. Now, it's not so the awards are for the season.
But I'm talking about just for the reunion.
Have the reunion prediction. So we got one. The reunion prediction award was like who was the star of the reunion, right? And let me see if I can find who we had.
Quad didn't deserve that first chair.
Quad
didn't deserve that first.
Oh hell no, she didn't.
I was like, why they might as well have Dr. Jackie back over there.
Well, she gave us nothing. Okay. But we do have I think it was the reunion prediction was Simone, Toya, and Jackie. And so even with that, you want to know something? Steve took it.
I feel like
Steve took it, and he wasn't even in the running.
I feel like,
and it's the Housewives Awards, so let's just make a mental note of that. But Steve got that one.
I
think didn't even expect him.
Eugene, he handled himself really well to be under fire by getting shots fired by both of them. You know, he didn't, get rattled. And when Steve was kind of really trying to bait him, he went and got a drink.
Yeah.
So, So he didn't
and see, and you want to know something? Let's just keep it real. Let me just throw this tidbit right there. That's the characteristic of a man, is when you can hold your composure.
That's why I was looking at the age.
Yeah, that's the character. That's a character.
I thought he was going to be much younger.
Yeah, leave me to be the erratic one. I'm gonna need you to hold that shit together.
Yeah, he has to hold it together because Toya is erratic.
Well, but again, women emotional, fine. We fine. Yeah, right. Who not supposed to show up that way?
Yeah. So, but I thought he did good getting shots fired at him, And Cecil, he kind of like faded to the back.
Well, people did tell old boy about calling that man out his name. Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems like it was the I would say the reunion was the Toya and Eugene show.
The whole season, I guess, right? Because it started off at their house.
What you mean?
What I mean is the whole situation that took place at the pool party they had at the skip day. Did nothing else really transpire besides everything that they had something to do with?
Yeah. Yeah, because it was Toya working.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
It was Toya working. I ain't lying. She was working. And I will say.
Well, here's the thing. She worked every season, but they had her on overtime on this season.
Well, because Heavenly was trying to be pulled up a little bit.
Yeah, they had her on overtime.
That's why they asked Dr. Damon, was his talks working with Dr. Heavenly? He said, I think it's helping a little bit. I said, it's only because she's trying to be pulled up. Because that was not, she was trying to be pulled up. And that's why she went up there acting a fool like she probably would have really could have done or acted, how she wants to act. But yeah, I thought Toya, yeah, she was working. And poor Eugene, I felt sorry for him because he was trying to help his wife and got the other
and I agree. Like that, I feel like throughout our reviews and throughout the season, I do feel like in our reviews have taken up for Eugene like a lot this season, more like generally I never have to. I don't think, even though some of this stuff had come up before, but I feel like a part of why I wanted, even the person who's just reviewing, to speak up for him, because it wasn't right. I don't think what he experienced was right. I'm okay with his wife putting him in, with the idea that his wife puts him in the course of fire. Like I'm okay with understanding that, but at the same time, I don't think he needs to defend his manhood another goddamn season, and y'all need to leave that alone. That's what I'm gonna say on that. Leave that alone. Calling him, referring to him as a Mrs. He got the Eugenia. Like it's cruel. That's what it is. It's cruel, and I don't like it. So get something else. Think harder, think smarter, get your wits up, because that shit is low hanging fruit and it's late.
Well, Dustin didn't think so.
Dustin didn't think so. Now I need to go in here what he got to say, because I usually do agree with Dustin, but I didn't like that Steve's pool. I didn't like it at all.
You ain't going to agree with him at all.
Well, shit, I'm glad you told me, because I ain't listened to them this week, but I plan to.
It's on that. Well, I don't know about the one they do on Mondays, but they do a on his Patreon.
And that's a whole nother situation. I like Dustin, but I'm about to say another thing too, because that's a whole nother thing about a gay man. Anyway, I don't like it. I don't think that that's something that people need to go around doing. That's that on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's that on that. You don't want nobody coming to pull your fucking card.
Yeah, I think I've seen two men that align with Dustin in their reviews of it. But yeah, I would say Dr. Eugene earned that first seat.
Well, he did, okay? He did.
He earned the shit out
And
of
you
it.
know, he was trying to take up for his wife, you know.
So when it all comes down to it, all the men are taking up for their wives, and they ain't
As
letting
they
it go.
should. But honey,
Yeah.
I sure want you to have your own thought. Don't be coming in here looking like your wife then wrote you a whole damn script.
You think she wrote it for him? He said he don't
Well,
play
you
about
saw
his
the
wife.
TikToks they did. So with the TikToks, yes, that would indicate that y'all have had conversation about what it is that's yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think all of them have conversation.
Well, it's not okay. Okay, let's change conversation because of course they do. But that's what I mean. Like as soon as he opened up his mouth, you couldn't you like you didn't hear like that sound like what your wife would say to you.
I just assumed he was watching the damn show. For him to know
That's a
about,
whole nother subject.
for him
Okay.
to know about
You
who
ain't
did
even
it, what?
getting paid. Like the no girl, see, it's time to end this one
Yeah,
right here.
he was over there studying. I
You
mean, because
fucking had me do what I said I don't even like them doing because what you just did was up the ante on what I said about the way Steve was acting. Because that's what I'm finna say. You mean to tell me he's sitting up watching the Housewives and you mean to tell me you ain't even get paid for it? You mean to tell me you got the women who are the main cast members don't even watch their episodes and you sitting up watching them?
girl, I bet you him and Dr. Mimi sitting there watching it together.
You just said a whole word right
I
there.
bet you watching them. I bet you that.
All I said is you just said a whole word right there, and you just proved what I said. Because
so you saying a man can't watch the Housewives?
I didn't say that they can't. That's not what I said. I didn't say that they can't. That okay. Right, you get the rest. I ain't gotta say no more. You called it. Like I didn't say that they can't. That's not what I said.
Yeah. Well,
right.
I believe he watched it. I
definitely and to your point, maybe you're right. Because what I just said, you got where you came from. You got it from somewhere. Now, like you said, maybe it could have been from you watching the episodes. Maybe it could have been from your wife. What I do know is wherever you got it from, them other men didn't get that same thing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
He said he from Cleveland. He about to show the fuck out.
Yeah, that big ass face. I guess you better, honey.
Oh my goodness! You think they coming back next year?
Better. You know, I'll be okay if they come back. I'll be okay if they do.
Also, she talked about you know, the lifelong issue of raising a kid with special needs. So yeah. Yeah,
I'd be okay if they came back. Honestly,
I would say
I'd like to see how they would, because that'll be their third year, right? Yeah. Like let's see how they come back in. So I think it's okay for them to come back. Sure.
But I would say this though, out of all the reunions I didn't watch this year and last year, I think this is one of the better reunions, and we have to get dragged out in 3 parts.
Well, I like that they didn't do the 3 parts. I don't know if it was better or not, but I mean,
okay which one? Potomac definitely wasn't.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know because they might have could have did well. They had the men. Okay, so too because I'm about to say they might have could have wrapped they shit up in one part because when it all boiled down to what we was talking about, the 2 main subjects went into other seasons.
Yeah.
That would tell you there was shit going on this season.
Well, we know when nothing going on.
Well, that's my point. That just would tell you what shit going on this season.
With nothing going on. When they been happily supposed to be the friend of the show, and she said they almost got her in every episode but the first one. So, but like I said, Toya, she did it. She carried it on her back. So I don't know if Dr. Heavenly doesn't come back. I hope they have another person that's entertaining, that's gonna spar with whomever, and kind of I don't know what it's gonna look like. Is Toya gonna have to really carry it? Was it gonna be Toya and Quad?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, so it's gonna, but like I said, I liked the medical moments they had. I thought I liked that. That was nice to to hear, and for people to get the information about PrEP, because yes, a lot of people out here and they're not taking care of themselves that way. So definitely was good information, and folks don't be listening to damn TikTok like that. Because I just didn't know people do that.
Like, listen, people need to listen to somebody, but at the same time, you just gotta know, like, TikTok, like, do some other research.
I always look at all that stuff as entertainment.
Well, I do think you can listen. It depends. That's why I say just
that's why I never
about whatever it is that you coming across, taking advice for, or whatever. But I think the main thing, at least me being on the administrative part, working in the medical field, being a patient my own self, and the way that I, deal with my physicians in a sense, I think that the main thing is that you have to be your own advocate. And you have to get with a provider you trust. And that's what I mean. You have to be able to trust them to make decisions that you don't have the information about. That's it. It's the same thing with this country. Like, I think so what TikTok does and some of this other things is it kind of makes people forget that professionals exist for that reason. You know what I mean? Like, professionals exist in particular fields because they are the professionals, because they have information you are not privy to. And so you got to know it, you got to trust it. If you got a doctor and you feel like your doctor is not listening to you, then you find another doctor. Like, that's the only real recourse that you have outside of if this doctor is really performing something that's illegal and out of the realms of what they should be doing. And if you want to know, that's, again, I think just educating patients and getting patients to get more comfortable. Now so going back to what Jackie and them had to say about TikTok and stuff, listen, being comfortable with going to your provider to ask for even some of the outlandish things. Just be comfortable enough to talk to your provider. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
I remember being, like, just a small tidbit, being pregnant with my sons. I did not have a doctor who I couldn't call and speak to. And and I know, and I was a trip being pregnant, even though I had very good pregnancies, but I was paranoid. I overthought. So if if the baby didn't move for a certain amount of hours, I was on the phone.
Checking your stomach, like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was on the phone. Like, okay, the baby ain't moved in about 4 hours. Like, whatever. But here's the thing. Thank God I had physicians that called me back. That soothed me. And that gave me. So if anybody listening who feel like they feel the same way, I don't know if the same apply today, because it's been decades since I had my last pregnancy. But what they told me, if the baby didn't move and I was worried, they say, drink some orange juice, and wait and lay down for 20 minutes and then see if the baby gonna move. But again, the main thing is just making sure that you're comfortable with your provider. Because again, if I had a provider who, dodged me, or I felt like I was, what I mean, like bothering or something, then I wouldn't be comfortable with telling them what I thought, and so that's not cool. And whether you on Medicaid, private insurance, or paying out of pocket, the care should all be the same.
It should be. Yes, that's why I told my mom about getting her a new provider, because she didn't like hers.
Yeah, for sure. I would tell the like that's your recourse as a patient and a consumer. You ain't got to pay this doctor. Your insurance ain't got to pay this doctor. Not for outside of the service he's already rendered. You ain't got to keep going.
Yeah, because I told her, if you don't like the way, keep going over there too.
Yeah, find you somebody who's
like, she ain't the only doctor.
Yeah, no, who gonna sit and listen to you, who gonna, like, you make you feel seen, make you feel heard, for sure. So that's my advice. Thank you guys so much. We got to get on up out of here, y'all. Yeah. We've been on here a long time.
Forever
but again, subscribe to the channel. Go over, make your votes for
the Housewife
Awards. And then we're gonna see y'all back Tuesday, because we're gonna get ready for Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yes.
Spirit fingers, yay! I'm excited.
Yeah, fingers.
Right,
girl, bring it on.
Get ready for them, and we gonna do our housewife announcement. But we don't know right now. We're probably going to pre-record that and put that out. So, again, make sure you like. I got the hiccups, y'all. Make sure you like, subscribe, and go place your votes. That's it. I ain't got no more.
Bye-bye.
Bye.